There are a few things that I'm particularly proud of at this institution that the government has supported, maybe over 2 years. First of all, you have a new pharmacy that was constructed thanks to the NHF, where patients, the young ones, the guardians, can come get treated and get their medication. And the National Health Fund is a real big player in supporting therapy and cure for our youngsters, as is the case for our adults. And I want to give them a round of applause for that. And they have done well. The only agency I know in government, sorry to say, Prime Minister, that wins private corporate awards for good governance. So if the NHF can do it, then everybody else can too, right? And we have to work on that. But thanks to the team there. Beyond that, the NHF is a co-sponsor of this initiative that we're about to see, the overnight suite, themselves and the NHT. And I want to just recognize both agencies for the work that they have done. And it shows that partnership is possible and is strong, even between government agencies. But since that time, we have seen something that's not as, on the face of it, not seen as significant. Animal-assisted therapy. Dr. Teddy Box. Anybody knows Dr. Teddy Box? You've seen him, right? All right. And I must tell you, when we introduced the animal-assisted therapy program, I recall one print media. I can't call the name. We only have two in Jamaica, two main ones. The Jamaica Observer. Cartoonist saw it fit to cartoon me, bringing a bad dog into the hospital that was attacking the patient. Actually framed it. No, I didn't frame it, but I cut it out. I have it. Because I'd like to sell it back to him. No. The long and short of it is, and that's fine, we accept criticism. I don't think there was an appropriate understanding of what this kind of therapy does for children, and indeed for staff. A year plus later, pilot project, we are now about to mainstream, supported too by the NHF. That program, in conjunction with the Hope Zoo and the team, I see Marsha James here, have provided therapy not just for the patients, for the parents, but for the staff. Am I wrong or right? If the staff in here agree with me, say amen for me, please. Thank you very much. When I come here a few times, when they have the snakes, well, that's in front of the snake, I must tell you the truth, but the rabbits and Dr. Box, it's pure smiles. And it's more the staff around the animals than the patients sometimes. And they really have fun. It is clinically tested and proven to be a good thing. And we have introduced it here. It has worked well. And I just want to announce that we're going to expand it to other hospitals in the year to come. Beyond that, last week, or is it 2 weeks ago, I was here and we launched our Caregivers program, pilot program. This to me is very significant. In the past, and the Prime Minister can relate to it because there was one parent who placed a petition on the website of the OPM, and last I checked, it was over 25,000 signatures, asking for parents and guardians to spend more time with their youngsters in the hospital as part of supporting their recovery. It's a tried, tested concept. When I went to the Philippines last year, I saw it at work across all hospitals, not just children's hospitals. And we have long talked about it. Well, I'm very happy to say that between the Office of the CMO, the team here on the ground, our Caregivers program was launched 2 weeks ago and is now actively taking place right here at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. In fact, I'm told that since its launch last week, 49 young patients and 69 caregivers have signed on the protocol. There's a process. You have to follow the protocol of the clinicians and are actively sitting at the bedside of their youngsters, calming them, combing the hair, feeding them, doing whatever the clinicians advise them to do. And it has created a better environment both for staff and patient based on the initial feedback that I've had. And I want to thank the team here, Dr. James and SMO and CEO and others, for working with the ministry to make this program a reality. And we intend to expand it further. But it is here at Bustamante that we have launched and started that program. Today it's about the overnight suite. And again, the PM will speak to that. Long incoming, long demanded. Family members coming from out of town, wanting somewhere to stay, to freshen up, to overnight. 36-bed facility. And it is a very positive addition. So we are working. I close by saying, next stop, A&E downstairs. There, give me a clap for that. All right, fine. I'm going to ask the Prime Minister for the money, so I put him on the spot. How is that? But the A&E downstairs sees some 35,000 patients per year, youngsters. We saw a few of them coming in while we're waiting downstairs in emergency mode. And we really need to upgrade and improve that facility, both for staff and patients. There is a plan, and I'm going to take on that plan now, and we're going to work to fixing that while we try to see if we can add some additional bed capacity, you know where, at the overnight suite. And you'll hear more about that in the future. So a lot is happening, a lot more to come, and I want to thank all involved. Thank you very much again. God bless.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. When I started this morning, I said it was a good day. Didn't I say that? So let us give the Minister another round of applause because he has brought good news. And we're going to look forward to the good news. So at this occasion, we look forward to showcase the talent of our people. Jamaica is very talented, from our children, adults. Being a children's hospital, we thought it was only fitting that our children participate in the celebration. So here to share their talent are some young ones from Creative Kids Learning Academy, led by Ms. Heidi K. Holmes. This is an institution that has strong academic values while intentionally nurturing the creative arts. Its evolving arts program is tapping deeper into visual and performing arts to expand students' creativity and overall development. So please make them welcome as the children come in, directed by Ms. Janine McClymouth, the Creative Kids Learning Active Academy Music Corps Choir. Let us welcome the children to the podium. Wasn't that wonderful? What stood out to you? To me, the word, your love is my strength. Together we are resilient. God's love, resilient. And I think that is so fitting, given what we have just come through Hurricane Melissa. That is what is going to get us further down this road. God's love and our resilience. Give them another round of applause. Thank you so much, our teachers and the talent and their parents. Without the parents, they wouldn't be here. So, at this time, we'll hear the keynotes address from our Prime Minister. Please make welcome Dr. the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Hill.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Dr. Michelle and Richards Dawson. The Right Reverend Leon Golding, I know you prayed for me in my absence. I heard the prayers. Thank you very much for your offering of intercession. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, our Minister of Health and Wellness, very important. Sometimes we forget that Minister Tufton is not a medical doctor, but he knows so much about health by now that I believe he should just formalize that and go and do a medical degree. Our Member of Parliament, Julian Robinson, for South East St. Andrew, Mr. Linval Freeman, Chairman of the National Housing Trust, and the Deputy Chairman of the National Health Fund, Mr. Michael Stern, Mr. Mark Martin, Parish Manager for Kingston and St. Andrew Health Services, and of course, how could I forget, Mr. Wentworth Charles, the Chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Mr. Anthony Wood, Chief Executive Officer of the Bustamante Children's Hospital, Mrs. Michelle Finnegan Campbell, Acting Director of Nursing Services at the Bustamante Children's Hospital, and since I've gone down this list, I must continue. Reverend Beverly Donald, Chaplain, Bustamante Hospital for Children, members and stakeholders of the various teams from the NHT, the NAFH, the NHF, what did happen a while ago? Is that? The NHF, and from Sarah, heads of department and members of staff of the Bustamante Children's Hospital, other specially invited guests, all nice and decent people. I entered the room quite aware that it was past midday, it was afternoon, but I still greeted you. Good morning. That's my way of apologizing for arriving here just a tad bit late. But I had good reason. When I finished my engagement, these days I can't just go and speak and leave. You know, the members of Parliament here will understand that the people want to see their Prime Minister. Yes, Julian, they want to see their Prime Minister. So I was detained a little bit, and then I had a wonderful experience. I didn't realize it was on my schedule. So we were heading down Stony Hill, and I saw the police come out into the road, and they were directing me to turn up into a lane. I said, but this is not on my agenda, and I'm late. Anyway, so we ended up going up a little driveway and stopped. I said, Prime Minister, you cannot come to Stony Hill and not visit a centenarian. She was 103 years old. And so I stopped and had a little conversation with her. Sharp as a tack. Mentally fit, which helped her physical longevity. I was told that she does her crossword puzzles every day. So I said, listen, you better rub some of that longevity off at me. And we had a good little chat. But then the icing on the cake is that whilst we were there, a lady came out, and she said, somebody said to me, Prime Minister, you don't know this lady? I said, can't quite say I know her. And then the person who was doing the introduction said, well, she taught at St. Catherine High School. St. Catherine High School is my alma mater. And then she said, so, Prime Minister, you don't remember me? And I felt a little bit strange there, because obviously it's somebody I should know. And she said, I used to teach you. You were in my class. And I just melted to see someone from so long ago. She was my 7th grade teacher. And we had a little chat, caught up a little bit. So, I'm certain you have forgiven me now for my delay. Today is a good day, a day of gratitude, of growth, and of grace. It is a day when we open a door that leads to relief, recuperation, and renewed hope. And it is a day when Jamaica demonstrates once again that we build not only structures, but strength. Not only facilities, but futures. And not only rooms, but resolve. We gather on the grounds of the Bustamante Hospital for Children, an institution with a proud and profound heritage. For 60 years, this hospital has been a beacon, steady, shining, unswerving, caring for our youngest across Jamaica, and as Minister pointed out, across the wider Caribbean. It stands alone in our region as the only specialist pediatric hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean, treating children from birth to age 12 with an extraordinary array of services, from general medicine to cardiology, neurology, nephrology, oncology, surgery, intensive care, and more. And we will augment this in a few months when we open the Western Child and Adolescent Hospital, which again, we will be the only English-speaking country in the Caribbean to have such a facility, probably just generally within the region. So Jamaica is becoming a center of excellence in health for children and adolescents. That's good. That's an entire industry and an entire economy that can be created around that. With 279 beds, including 6 beds for ICU and a 10-bed cardiac ICU unit, and an accident and emergency department that sees approximately 70,000 patients every year. The hospital is nothing less than a national cornerstone, a lifeline for families in their most vulnerable moment. Yet even the strongest institutions must evolve. Even the brightest light must be renewed. Even the most committed caregivers need a space where compassion is complemented by comfort. That brings us to today. For decades, the need for parents to remain close to their hospitalized children has been recognized as an essential part of pediatric care. Parents are not visitors in their child's recovery. They are partners in it. They are the familiar voice in an unfamiliar place. The reassuring touch in moments of fear. The steady presence that helps a child feel safe. Sometimes they are the medicine that no doctor can prescribe. But for too long, our parent overnight suite did not reflect this reality. It could not accommodate the numbers. The previous facility, limited, aging, and deteriorating, offered some shelter, but it was not a sanctuary. It allowed rest, but it did not really facilitate restoration. And as the hospital expanded in scale, complexity, and medical capability, the gap between the care of our children and the support that the parents needed, that gap became increasingly evident. And so, as part of a broader partnership between the National Housing Trust, the National Health Fund, and the Southeast Regional Health Authority, we committed to constructing a modern parent overnight suite, one grounded in dignity, comfort, and care. This project was approved in 2018. I remember it well. And it was announced in my budget presentation of that year, and we broke ground in 2021. We're coming to the excuses, Minister. We're coming to the excuses. Minister said COVID. As we celebrate today's achievement, it is also important to acknowledge an uncomfortable truth. This project should not have taken so long. From 2019 onwards, the journey was marked by repeated delays. No doubt, COVID. And COVID, construction, hospital, all three don't work well together. So we understand that. But we also had contractor underperformance, termination of contracts, repeated notices of underperformance, redesign challenges. You start and then you realize you left something off, or you didn't reinforce something and you have to redesign. Listen to this one now. Theft of materials. And as much as the three agencies worked well together, and I've been bigging them up, the NHT, the NHF, and SARA, we have to pay attention to this one. Overlapping responsibilities between agencies. And then extended procurement timelines. All of which created a cumulative slowdown that stretched the completion date far beyond what was originally intended. Added to that, the disruptions of Hurricane Beryl and Hurricane Melissa, which halted activities at the site and forced further extensions. But the truth is, while bad weather and pandemics will unavoidably delay construction, bureaucracy should not. Bureaucracy should not. And this is something that we struggle with as a developing country. Developed countries struggle with the same thing too. The experience of this project highlights a deeper systemic challenge. Too often, well-intentioned safeguards become obstacles. Too often, procedures designed to protect the public's interest end up postponing the public benefit. That's the reality. That is the reality of Jamaica. A system that protects integrity but prevents delivery is not protection. It is paralysis. And that is the challenge we face as a country. I want to point out here, the old narrative of Jamaica, the old paradigm of Jamaica was that we could not build this because we didn't have the money. That's why the commentators used to say, well, we don't have the money. We are a poor country. We don't have the money. We can build this. We're not saying we're flush with cash. But the reason why we took the decision in 2018, but we are only delivering it now, is not because of lack of funds. There's nothing here about a budgetary constraint. What prevented it was, yes, there was some force majeure, but largely it is our inefficiency as a public bureaucracy to convert the capital budget quickly. Our capital budgets have increased in the last decade significantly. We have doubled our capital budget. The issue is how to convert the capital budget quickly. Now, a part of that conversion is, as you would have seen, first of all, what we now have a very robust system called the Public Investment Appraisal System, where all the projects go through a very rigorous scrutiny. And oftentimes the projects are not assessed upon the basis of whether or not they are needed. They are assessed on all other kinds of parameters. They look at environmental, they look at financial feasibility, they look at structural and civil engineering. All kinds of other parameters are used to judge a project. Oftentimes, the public's urgent need is not ranked as a priority. We have the classic case of a bridge on the border of Trelawney and Manchester, a bridge that was destroyed by flooding as a result of a tropical storm. And that project had to go through this public investment appraisal process, which caused extensive delays and a lot of money spent to answer all kinds of questions. None of them answered the question, how quickly could the people get back their bridge? But we can't blame that process, because it is important that all projects that are competing, that want the public funds, that they meet a standard. So it is there to protect the public's interest, to ensure that public expenditure is efficiently utilized. So once you have passed this investment appraisal and the decision is, yes, okay, it's a good investment, then the next step is the design of the project. That's where your architects and your engineers and your environmental planners and your all the technical experts come and they design the project. And then when that is done, you go to another process, which is called procurement. I think there is agreement generally in the Parliament that much more needs to be done to make procurement more efficient. Procurement can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 or 3 years sometimes. All kinds of things can go wrong in procurement. And the way in which procurement is set up, procurement does not consider the parent who is coming in from Hanover to be with her child that is ill. That's not a consideration in procurement. And then after you've finished procurement, you have to go to contracting. You have to now define the terms on which the construction is going to take place. Obligations are going to be met. Warranties are going to be issued. And indemnities and insurance and bonds and all kinds of things. And that can take some months as well. And then when that is finished, there is construction. Oftentimes, the construction is the shortest part of the process. But if you do not have good contractors, that can be elongated as well. And as Jamaica grows, and we have more capital projects to do, we are seeing the need to have a contractor class that is equal to the task. You know, we have this concept of the contractor as, you know, a man with a, may not even have an office anywhere. You know, he just comes and with a few workmen, and that can't carry us. That can't carry us to where we need to go. We need contractors who are invested in the process. They have the technical expertise, not just in construction, but they have the technical expertise in project management, in financial management, in accounting and record keeping, that they understand the social, political, and cultural issues in the areas that they work, that they are very much committed to delivering on time, not cutting costs, but saving costs. We definitely need a contractor class like that. And we're going to be taking some policy decisions soon to help to support our contractors, to help them develop so that they can take on projects at scale. One of the challenges we face in housing, Minister Tufton, is that we don't have contractors that can build at scale that we need. We don't have many. So we are stuck in the limit of building 1,000 houses or maybe 1,500. We need a contractor who can take on 10,000 houses at a time. And we need to develop that indigenously. We need to develop that skill indigenously. The contractors are critical partners in the government converting the capital project into growth. They are important to the government achieving its growth mandate. Without them, and without the contractor class thinking a particular way, we will not be able to achieve the kind of growth that we need. And I just use the opportunity here to say that the government has a train line of projects. You used to hear the term pipeline of projects. We don't use pipeline because you can't see what is coming. Sometimes you turn the pipe and it's just air coming through it. No, we have a train line of projects. And sometimes the projects are being delivered all over Jamaica. The public really doesn't get a sense as to what comes off that train line almost on a daily basis. Today, in Stone Hill, I've handed over one of our new social housing program units. It is a multi-family unit that accommodates 3 families, 12 persons living in it. Lovely facility. It's part of our tenement, big yard, tenement yard replacement. And that was done. Lovely. And then today, we are opening this facility here. Yesterday, Matthew Samuda was touring our water project in St. Catherine, where this is the content project that we've talked about for almost a decade. That project is coming on stream very soon, which will bring water into the corporate area. Almost every day, some major project. In other words, the conversion of the capital budget into infrastructure that is changing the lives of people is happening. But it is happening too slowly. we need to ramp up the scale at which we are doing it. And the contractors, because they are the ones who literally take the cash and convert it into concrete. So, I hope I have elucidated some issues and made our position on national development as it relates to the capital budget clear. So, this project is therefore both a celebration and a lesson. A celebration of what we have achieved despite obstacles, and a lesson about what we must change so that future projects do not face the same fate. Bureaucracy should be a gate that filters risks, not a wall that blocks progress. However, the fact that we have this overnight suite here today speaks to the commitment and persistence of our civil servants to see important national projects through to fruition. It is a testament to perseverance, a project that endured storms, literal and figurative, hurricanes, pandemic, delays in supply chains, contractor termination, redesign, but thankfully, we have reached completion. What is it? Better late than never. But we say it another way. Me late, but me reach. And it is a testament to compassion. Because the heart of this building, it's not just concrete. The heart of this building is care. A hospital treats the body, but a home strengthens the spirit. By creating a space that feels like home, we strengthen both. When parents are rested, they are better able to care for their child. When parents are nearby, the child feels safer. And when families are supported, healing is accelerated. To the team at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, your work is demanding, difficult, sometimes heartbreaking. Day after day, you turn uncertainty into stability, fear into reassurance, crisis into care. The Parent Overnight Suite amplifies your work, and I hope it will make it a little bit easier for all. It deepens the circle of care. It recognizes that your fight is not only for the child, but also for the family beside the child. May every parent who enters this suite find rest and renewal. May every child whose parent is close by feel comforted, reassured, and strengthened. And may this hospital, strengthened by this new addition, continue its legacy of healing with heart, with honor, and with humanity. Thank you, and may God bless the Bustamante Hospital for Children and the families it serves.
Thank you, PM. Thank you for your visionary leadership and for giving us a charge to go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a most fulfilling morning. Words cannot express our sincere appreciation for your attendance and participation in today's program. Your support has